Hello, it's Shannon Kaiser with Play with the World, and this is the Joy Seeker podcast. I'm so excited to be here with you today because today's topic is so important. It's something that comes up all the time when we start to dive deeper into our self-love journey, when we want to grow, when we start to go deeper into a personal growth path. When you start to show up for yourself in new ways, this always happens. And it's so common. In fact, just a couple weeks ago, I was at Jen Sincero's book author event, the author of You Are a Badass. She has a new book called You Are a Badass Every Day, and she was on book tour. And this was one of the main questions that the audience kept asking over and over. And even on top of that, I have lots of life coaching clients, and this seems to be a situation that we go over almost with every client at some point in our time together. And I went through it myself. And that is how to feel supported, how to get support from unsupportive people. It's like something happens where you start to feel happier, you start to feel more connected to yourself, you really start to show up for yourself in ways you have not done before. And as you do this, one of two things happens. You want to share it with everyone. Look, I have the golden ticket. I have discovered the happiness. And you start sharing it. Maybe you start to write blogs. Maybe you start to do podcasts or YouTube videos, or you just start social media posting it or telling anyone and everyone who will listen. And a lot of times it is not reciprocated. It's not returned in the same manner of your enthusiasm. And so we feel totally defeated. And we feel like, well, what is it really worth? Or we start to second guess ourselves. And this is what I want to talk about, is when we start to waver. We start to waver on our own happiness. We start to question our own ability to move forward because there's so much backlash, or there's so many people around us who aren't supportive. And this happens to everyone on their journey when we're still learning about ourselves and we're still connecting to who we really are. We're still working that inner faith muscle, if you will, and that inner trust muscle. And as we're building those up, there will be a lot of lessons, a lot of tests, and a lot of people in our life who will question us. This happened in my own journey. I remember I was getting ready to go on a morning television show in Portland. I wrote the book, Find Your Happy, Inspirational Guide on Loving Life to the Fullest. My first book had come out, and it's about how to really get through depression and overcome anxiety, and how to be happy. And the local show invited me on after Robin Williams passed away to talk about depression. And I remember telling my family and my dad, we were in his kitchen, and I said, I'm going on the local show to talk about depression and the effects of mental health. And he dropped his fork and he looked at me and he said, are you sure they got the right person? Shouldn't they have a therapist talk about that? And I remember that crushed me because I was about 2 years into my business and I was starting to coach people, and I was leading workshops for people online and in the community centers on how to be happy and be true to yourself. And I felt with every fiber of my body that I was doing the mission that I was put on earth to do. And I was here to share my voice and share what I had experienced. Because yes, I suffered from depression and I overcame it. And no, I'm not a clinical therapist, but guess what? I have life experience. And that's why when he said that, it hurt me so bad because I felt unvalidated. I felt unloved. I felt like he didn't support me. But then what I recognized, and this is what I want to offer to you if you don't feel supported, is that there was still a place within me that did not feel fully supported of my own dreams. He was just reflecting the insecurity within me still. I was attracting people to me to confirm the belief that I wasn't good enough because I still firmly believed that I wasn't good enough. So if you're believing that you're not good enough, or you're unworthy, or you can't make a living doing what you love, then you will continue to attract experiences that reinforce this, because our beliefs create our reality. And so I recognized in that moment that I needed to work on believing in myself in order for me to truly be an empowered writer and a speaker and a coach. And I did, and I transformed. As you can see, if you read my books or if you show up, thanks for being here on the podcast. If you're brand new, the whole point is when you show up for yourself, you show up for the world, but we have to start with ourselves. And so if you're trying to get validation from other people, or you're needing someone else to tell you that you're on the right path, then it's going to be a really long haul, and you're going to keep feeling not good enough, and you're going to keep feeling like you're behind, off track, something's wrong. Why does everyone else have it figured out? Now, I said there's one of two things. The second option is, instead of wavering, if someone comes in and they see that you're happy and you're starting to go after your goals, and they say, well, that's stupid, you shouldn't be doing that, and you waver, the other thing that can happen is you don't waver. And you stand so firmly in your truth, and you know with every fiber of your body that you were born to do this. And it becomes your light. You become the example. Instead of you needing to tell people about your dreams or tell them, you just are it. And that's what I really worked on. I stopped trying to get everyone to approve of me, and I just focused on approving of myself. And the more I did this, the easier everything became. And I did this by getting in touch with my true mission, the reason why I do what I do. When you connect to your why you're setting out to start this new program, or why you want to do these goals, why you want to leave this school, whatever it is that you're focusing on, focus on the why from your heart. And when you drop from your head into your heart, you become unstoppable. It is so empowering for you to live an authentic life from within out, instead of trying to get outside approval to prove your worth within. The outside will never, ever be able to give us what we need. And the society and culture is always telling us we're not good enough, pretty enough, smart enough, tall enough, rich enough. So enough with that, right? Turn against that and start to focus fully on everything on the inside. The inside of you is where it's at. When we fully know this and we live this, everything is in divine order. And so what happens too, when we start to see people in our lives who are rejecting us or pushing against our dreams, you're getting happier, you're starting to share, you're starting to show up in a way you haven't before, and the people around you will often lash out or say comments. I want to offer to you that when you're truly aligned with your authentic self, you will not be as offended. You won't be offended because you're so connected to who you are. So the things that used to bother you won't bother you in the future. And also, on the same note, when people do things when you're starting to be happy and people say things or do things that make you feel like they don't approve, it's almost always because you're showing them what's possible. You have all of a sudden become the teacher for those around you. And you are now being an example of what's happening when you show up for yourself and say, I matter, my life is important, and I'm choosing to go after what I care about. And I am not going to waste my time on earth. And when you do that, the people around you, they have no excuse because they see you doing it, and it can be threatening. So they see you doing it, and this is what Jen Sincero said, because people at her event were actually asking what happens, people are pushing against me being happy. And she said, it's really, they see that you are actually happy, and it's like a big mirror. The mirror is shining right back at you, and it's like the mirror shines on them. And it's saying, hey, if she can do it or he can do it, so can you. What excuse do you have? And so we become a vibration of lifting everyone up. And so all you have to do is keep being you. That's it. Keep trusting you. Keep aligning with your truth. Because the world needs you to show up fully. There is no more time to play small. You are not here, and you are not listening to the Joy Seeker podcast or part of Play with the World or following along because you want to waste your time. You're here because you want more. You want more for yourself and your loved ones, and you're ready. So I want to offer to you, if you're looking for support outside of yourself, give your support to you first. Give yourself what it is you need most. And I'm going to close with a power mantra from my book, Find Your Happy Daily Mantras. And this is a book that you can open up to and get a mantra anytime, or on the mantra Find Your Happy Daily Mantra card deck, you can certainly draw a card and get a message. So the one that I've drawn for us today is, everything I need is inside of me. You may worry that you don't have what you need to get to where you want to go. But today is a reminder that you have everything you will ever need to reach your desired goals. Your future is unfolding in the present moment, and it's essential that you hold on to positive thoughts. You are so much more capable and willing than you give yourself credit for. Instead of focusing on how it can't work or how it's not going to turn out, focus your attention on the opportunities in front of you. When you are open to receiving guidance, there are plenty of ways to reach your desired outcome. And you can repeat, I am strong, capable, and I am focused. I release my need to have it all figured out, and I go inward and reveal the best path forward. I'm always being guided to learn and grow, and I trust the journey. Today, I align with my truth. I take one step at a time, and the path is revealed to me. I always have what I need to get to where I want to go because I learn the way on the way. The power question for you this week is, where can I give myself more credit for a job well done? Thanks, guys, for playing with the world. I hope you have a beautiful week.